This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
All right, the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos tells us like this: Have a zoy b'mitzvah kala k'b'chamura, that a person should be careful of a light, quote unquote, mitzvah, like the heavyweights, right? Because you don't really know the reward of a mitzvah. Rabbi side, there is a yavitz, incredible yavitz. The Chovsid Yavitz brings down an incredible thing in Sefer Chazdei Hashem. He says there are some mitzvahs, he says, that have muzzle. You know there are mitzvahs out there that have muzzle, that everyone keeps those one? I'll give you an example, right? Purim. It's one of those mitzvahs that seems to have a lot of muzzle. Everybody keeps Purim, everybody gets dressed up, everybody knows Chazal, right, about getting drunk. Says the Chosid Yavitz, there are some mitzvahs, should have muzzle. Other mitzvahs, says the Chosid Yavitz, don't have muzzle. What's the example that he brings of a mitzvah that does not have any muzzle? The example the Chosid Yavitz brings is the mitzvah of Birchas HaMazon, mitzvah benching. It's a kavaldige mitzvah. It's a daraisa. It doesn't have muzzle. It does. Rabbi says Kadman, Sefer Chosid Yavitz in the Sefer Chazdei Hashem brings down, and he says the Heilige Yavitz, we have no problem being mekayim v'achalta, v'savata, and we have no problem. It's a sach food in the world, in different places, we can be mekayim achalta v'savata. When it comes to ubeirachta, that's a whole different story. Who has patience? When we eat, we sit down in the breakfast room, you got the freshly squeezed orange juice, all the vegetables cut up for your egg, all the different selections of the yogurts that are on the side over there, the different cheeses, the garlic. We sit down, we relax. It's not an advert for yeshiva. It's sit down, you relax, take it easy, it's geschmack. Benching? Ooh, gotta run, better bench. Rabbi say, a kadmon in the Yavitz says that people don't have patience. People don't have patience with the Gemara. The Gemara tells us like this. The Gemara says, Rabbi Barachana was walking together with a caravan, a big oilam were walking zusammen. He ate, he forgot to bench, and they left their original place. She said, what am I meant to do? If I tell them, ooh, Rabbi said, I just forgot to bench, what are they going to tell me? It's the bench here. What's it going to take you, 20 seconds? Just bench, what's the big deal, right? So he says to them, no, I lost a golden dove. Ooh, money. Sure, we'll all wait for you. We can go back. We'll wait here for you, no problem. And that's what he did. That's an incredible thing. Chazal tell us, because of this, you see, it's a skula for Hashivas. Okay. Now it's good. It's a skula to get rich. You bench properly. It's a moedik skula. It says the Yalkut Shemaini that when a person benches properly, he's in Makayim Gantz Torah Kula. As I steht in Yalkut Shemaini. Why? Because it says in the Torah, V'achalta v'savata, and then eventually it says, what? Kol mitzvahs. That means through benching, a person's mekayim the whole Torah. It says the Zoya Kodesh, the Heilige Zoya. Rabbi Shimon, anybody that goes to Meiron, go to Heilige Rabbi Shimon. Just remember what he says. That benching is a skula la'arichas yomim. We'll live a long life. A rich life. This is it, Rabbi say. The Zoya brings a makor from the Torah, that a person needs kavanah for benching, ki kodesh oni, that a person needs kavanah through birchas hamazon. Says the chinuch mitzvah tof lamed. Kach mukubal ani mirabbi sai, says the chinuch. Unbelievable thing. Yishmei mel seichel azaya, bebirchas hamazon uzoynosav mitzuyim loi bekovoid kol yomov. Says the chinuch that if a person benches with kavanah, not only will he have parnasa the ganze life, but I'll have it covered. It will be in a respectful manner. When a person benches, that's an incredible, unbelievable thing. Reb Chaim Vital, Rabbi Chaim Vital writes in Shar HaMitzvahs that a person has to bench with kavanah because the Sitra Acha is standing right there to persuade you. Don't do it with kavanah because he knows what's at stake. He knows how choshev it is. Rabbi said we're dealing with an incredible mitzvah. We're dealing with something very, very, very choshev. Reb Chaim Kanievsky Shlita said he remembers when he was younger, he used to spend a lot of time by the Chazon Ish. And somebody was once benching. And in the middle of benching, he was like making a signal. You know, there are such people in the world. And someone did that. When the Chazon Ish saw him, that he finally finished benching, so he said to him, would you do that in the middle of Shmoneh Esrei? In the middle of Shemona Esrei, you're going to stop and go, I mean, I guess there are people that do that, but that's like, whoa. We all understand, that's crazy. But during benching, it seems to be like, big deal, I'm benching. You're right there. You're benching him, you're kind of doraisa. You're thanking the Rabbi Shalom for everything. The Shlomo Zalman. The Shlomo Zalman was known never to repeat psukim or anything twice. Never did that. He davened very slowly. He counted every single word like he was counting money. As I stated in Chazal, one time he said "Noidelacha" twice in benching, and the whole family were astonished. Mechatesa Rebbe, he's saying "Noidelacha" twice. What happened over here? And he said the first time a pasha wasn't concentrating. He said "Noidelacha" without kavanah is not a haidah. You can't do that. You can't do that. Pasha, it doesn't work. The Yisod v'Shoresh v'Avodah writes, doesn't even understand how a person cannot even have kavanah during benching. You're thanking the Rabbeinu Shalom for everything you have. Achalta v'savata ubeirachta. You had no problem eating. You had no problem getting full. Now you have to bench. And that's an incredible, incredible thing that a person has to realize. Rabbi say, benching is a gewaltige Zach. So I want to just spend a couple of minutes on understanding a little bit about benching. If not, just to give us a little bit of a chizuk in benching, because at the end of the day, the Gemara tells us that davening always requires a chizuk. So this is a chelik of tefillah. So there are basically 4 brachas in Birchas Hamazon, right? There's 3 of them that are daraisa, and 1 is midrabanan. You've got Hazon, Ha'aretz, and Bnei Yerushalayim, and Hatoiva Ha'meitiv. The first bracha that we make on Birchas Hamazon is on the food that we ate. The second one is on Eretz Yisrael. The third one is on Yerushalayim, and the fourth one is Toiv, is on everything good, because it says Ha'aretz Hatoiva. Now, the first bracha, Be'etzem, was masaken by Moshe Rabbeinu in the Midbar. Right, it teaches us the lesson that we get food min hashamayim. Everything comes from Hashem, just like they got the mon min hashamayim. So we get our food also min hashamayim. Nothing comes simple, nothing comes easy. It comes min hashamayim. Moshe Rabbeinu was masaken the first bracha in Birchas Hamazon. The second bracha was masaken by. It's so early in the morning, eh? Especially when you got woken. Yeah, no. Yeshua. Second one was by Yeshua. The second after they came into Eretz Yisrael, and the idea for that bracha was we're alive. We are alive. We're happy because of Hashem. Unbelievable. That's the second bracha. The third bracha was by David HaMelech. David HaMelech was Mesakin, the bracha that not only are we thanking the Rebbeinu Shalom for the food itself, but also the protection that the Rebbeinu Shalom offers. And the fourth bracha, Rabbi Gamliel was Mesakin, when they got the Rishus to enter Beitar to bury the dead people by the Churban Beitar at the time of the Romans. Many, many years later, Hatoiv is that the bodies didn't decay, and Hameitiv, that they were allowed to bury. The Gemara in Brachas, Mem Chesed Beis tells us that the bracha of Toiv Hameitiv includes all the good that you have in your life. Rabbi, so you have an opportunity every single day when you bench to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom not only for that which you ate, but all the good that Hashem gives you in your entire life, which is an incredible idea, a very, very poshut zach. The Gemara tells us, right? You're not allowed, it's us, it's forbidden for a person to have any benefit from this world without giving a bracha first. Because if you don't, then you're considered stealing. The pashtus of the Gemara is talking about a bracha b'shayna. If you look at the Beis Yosef in Archaim Sematofei Vav, he brings down that's much more also going on bracha achroina, right? And therefore it's also lahenois, even though it's pashtus in the future, but it also the Beis Yosef brings kamarayas, whatever it is, the cheimuchach from the Kesef Mishnah, Perik Aleph from Hilchos Brachas Halacha Beis, the Rashba in Brachas Daf Lamed Hey, the Levush in Simon Reid Chesh and Yerideh in Arachaim Simon Yud Zayin. Also the same idea, that the idea of also lahenos ba'olam hazeh b'lei bracha, that it's also forbidden for a person to have any hana in this world without making a bracha, then you're stealing if you do, is going on benching as well. And that is a gewaldiger and very, very important yesod that a person has to realize. The Sefer Hasidim brings down a very scary maisa, that he said that a person didn't bench properly, and after he left this world, he came epis to someone in a dream, and he looked crazy, and he said, because I didn't thank the Rebbeinu Shalom for everything that he gave us. And that is a very, very choshev thing. A person should realize that benching is a very big yesod of thanking the Rebbeinu Shalom for everything that we have. And that's a very, very important thing. The other thing as well, Rabbi, you have to realize as well, is that apart from having a long life, and apart from having tremendous parnasa, which is gewaldige brachas by themselves, there are other things as well. The Rekeach in Simon Shin Lamed Zayin brings down that there's no Hebrew letter pei in the whole big one, in the entire benching and the small one. Because why? Because pei is basically representation of anger, and if a person benches, there'll be no anger from Hashem on him. That's also a tremendous skula that the Rekeach brings down, the Bach brings in Arachim Sim Kuf Pei as well, that a person has to realize that it's a very, very popular thing that a person has to realize that benching is a very choshev thing. It's a very choshev, very important part of our day, very important part of everything that we do. And I want to just tell you one more Dekamaisa. And that is the Rosh Koilol of Imre Yosef Chaim Moshe, who once said that he remembers his father went to ask Rav Shach a shaila. And he stood waiting 15 minutes for the Rosh Yeshiva of Shach to finishing benching. 15 minutes. 15 minutes to finish benching. Okay? So his father was like, wow, unbelievable, a quarter of an hour on benching. That is incredible. Most people take what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You know, nowadays you have these pens. You ever saw these pens? The pens that you can pull out benching. Like as you're writing the check, at the end of the meal, you can bench at the same time. Like as you're writing the check, you can basically finish benching at the same time. But some people go through the words and they think about it. And Shach took 15 minutes. An incredible thing. And he said, how'd you do that? So Rav Shach said to him that when a person benches with kavana, he is zoicha to see tremendous hatzlocha, especially in parnosa and arichas yamim. And he was very makbid to look inside the siddur. Right? And he made sure, in fact, one time that he was in the sukkah, he had to go out the sukkah in order to go find a bench or whatever it was. And the family said to him, why are you so makbid? He said, a Kabbalah is a Kabbalah. When people used to ask Rav Shach for a scholar for success, people wanted hatzlacha. So they went to Rav Shach and said, Rebbe, what do you suggest they do for hatzlacha? So he said, you know what? Take upon yourself benching inside the bencher. And they said, oh, Rebbe, could you give us something a little bit more everyone's looking for these fancy geschmacka scholars that we don't understand, that will make all sorts of things. And here's Rav Shach telling us, open a bench. They said, Rebbe, could you give us something a bit more substantial? And he said, but that's what I'm working on. This is known to be one of the things that Rav Shach himself worked on. Rabbi say, the mitzvah of Birchas HaMazon, as the Yavitz tells us, seems to be a mitzvah that doesn't have any muzzle. Let's change that. Let's think about, next time we're benching, think about the 4 brachas, think about what we're doing, think about what we're thanking the Rabbeinu Shalom for, and Be'ezah Hashem, all the brachas that is said of someone that benches properly, he will be zeicha to receive, b'siyata d'shmaya. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.